Ciao, I'm Giuliana from Hardcore Italians, and you're watching Cookin With G. Dun, 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 dun. I never know what shape that is. Today I'm finally going to be sharing with you guys the most frequently asked recipe for Cookin With G. How do I make good pizza at home? You know, what's the recipe? How to make the dough? How to make the sauce? Today I'm going to show you everything that goes with making the perfect homemade pizza. Just a quick disclaimer before I get into the ingredients. I did go ahead and make this recipe cut down to a 12-inch sized pizza. So it's not gonna be super big. All the ingredients are properly cut down so you guys can make exactly what I'm making here. So here are the ingredients. You're gonna need 8 ounces of unbleached all-purpose flour, about 5 ounces of water, 4 grams of yeast. This is about 0.3 ounces, but maybe about a capful of extra virgin olive oil for your dough mix. In this bucket here, I do have just a bunch of unbleached all-purpose flour. It is gonna be very handy when you're stretching out the dough and just making sure that things don't stick. So make sure you have a good amount of flour. For the pizza sauce recipe, I am going to be using saporito, which is basically just super heavy pizza sauce. I am going to be mixing the pizza sauce with some of these spices I have in here. I just have a bunch of oregano, Romano cheese, salt, sugar, black pepper, and yeah, I'm just going to mix it in with some water. I'll show you how to do that, so just stay tuned. You do want to make sure that your oven is preset at 550 degrees. It is very important that you have a cookie sheet upside down so it acts as a pizza shelf. If you don't have this, the toppings aren't gonna cook properly and the cheese is gonna cook too fast. You definitely wanna make sure that you have one of these guys in the oven. As far as toppings for your pizza go, you can obviously use pepperoni, you can use sausage, you can use whatever you like. But today I'm just gonna be using some regular old cheese because I'm definitely a cheese gal. And I am also using some grande ricotta cheese, which is my favorite. It's literally ice cream to me. And that's actually what we're gonna be using today to take the edge off. People literally think I'm crazy. I eat ricotta cheese like it's ice cream. If you slap that on an ice cream cone, I would not know the difference. Also, because I know I'm gonna get so many questions asking about where I got the shirt, it's all Hardcore Italians merch. You can find it by pressing the link in the description box below. This is actually probably one of my favorite shirts we have so far because it's so true. La vita è bella, especially when you have a homemade pizza looking right back at you. So let's get right to it and let's start with the dough. You're gonna wanna add in that water. Make sure the water is about 80 degrees. It's very important that it's not too hot and that it's not too cold. Then we're gonna be putting in the yeast and also adding that oil. Now we're gonna put it right in there. So right now we're actually activating the yeast. Now I'm going to add in the flour. So I'm gonna put that flour in there. We're gonna lock it and let it mix on 2 until it becomes pretty clumpy. And as you notice it going all together in a ball, we're gonna turn it up a little bit. Now I just took the dough out of the KitchenAid or our dough mixer. You definitely want the yeast to do its thing, so don't touch the dough for the next 10 minutes. So it's super important that you treat the dough as kindly as you would a newborn baby. If that makes any sense. The second the dough is taken out of the dough mixer and is on the table, it's kind of like when a baby's born. You just created dough. This is life. This is the pizza's life. And can you tell I'm super passionate about pizza? I do want to just talk about this little thing over here, the rolling pin. Now, in my opinion, I think that in order to make a true pizza, ditch the rolling pin. Honestly, I don't even know why we have a rolling pin. A true pizza should be made with your hands. It should be made with your hands and it should be made with love. I feel like any food that you make with your own 2 hands is you putting as much energy into it as you can. That's why I really don't believe in the rolling pin. I mean, you can use one, but I advise you not to if you want to be a true pizza maker. You can do it with your hands. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and start rolling the dough. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of flour to it, making it into a ball, almost. Hold it like this, kind of make your knuckles touch each other and pinch the dough together. See that? So I'm gonna turn on its side again, take it like this, knuckles touch, connect the dough there, like that, turn it over. And you keep doing this motion. Voila! This is our newborn baby. So now you're gonna wanna grab a bowl and you wanna put this little dough in here. I did go ahead and line it with some oil so it doesn't stick so much. So I'm gonna set it right in there. So since we're talking about how the dough is like a baby, this is like your baby's crib, you know? You wanna make sure that it has a blanket to cover it. So this is just some plastic wrap. Cover it completely. You want to make sure no air gets to it. Now, depending on the temperature of your home, it will make a difference of how fast the dough rises. I would leave it out for probably like 2 hours and then throw it in the fridge for another like 24 hours because then you'll really get it to its rising time. Now, for time's sake, I did go ahead and make this dough yesterday. This is the one that we just made, but this one is properly proofed, has been sitting for 24 hours and rising in my fridge, while this one we just made and still has to go through that process. Now typically when I wait for the dough to rise, I start making the sauce. I do use this big old can. I usually do make more pizzas than this, but just for the video's sake, I wanted to show you guys in a little pie so it wasn't overwhelming. But you're definitely not gonna need this much sauce. This is just what I typically do. I am going to be using a big saucepan like this. And I'm just gonna be pouring this entire can into the pan. Like I mentioned, you can use any type of sauce that you would like. This is just what I personally do. We are gonna water it down and add a few spices into it, but it is all preference. Next, you're gonna wanna add some cold water to your saucepan. You're gonna wanna kind of get the size, make sure that you get every last bit of it here. See how there's clumps? You're gonna wanna keep whisking until there's no clumps that come up. Okay, so when it starts to get pretty mixed in there, you're gonna wanna add some spices. Like I said, I pretty much just eyeball it. Do whatever tastes good to you. I know a lot of people like a lot of oregano, a lot of people like a lot of salt, a lot of people like a lot of sugar. Just do basically what tastes good to you. So now we're gonna grab our flour. You're gonna wanna dip your hands into it and grab the dough out. Now, you're not gonna wanna just pull it, every which way. It's a baby, like we talked about. You wanna be very, very careful with it. Cradle it, so it's still in the same shape that it was inside this bowl. So now, this is the fun part. We're gonna stretch the dough. Like I said, ditch the rolling pin. You wanna make this with love. You wanna make it with your own two hands. So this is how you do it. Now, as far as stretching the dough goes, you're gonna wanna add a little bit of flour to the top, flip it over, add a little bit on the bottom. It's still gonna be kind of sticky. And we're going to just press it out with our fingers. So now, notice how there's already a bubble right there. Quick bubble tip, you can just rip it right off and it goes down. So you're gonna wanna use this hand, it's the guiding hand. You want the pizza to come out like a circle. So we're gonna go all the way down, all the way around. I'm only using the finger pads. I'm not using like this. I'm using my finger pads to gently go on the dough like that. Now we're gonna make the crust. So the crust, you're gonna wanna go around with your fingers. I like to say that maybe like the size of my finger is the crust, maybe a little bit smaller. I personally grew up with thin crust pizza all my life, so that's just what I'm used to, but you can definitely just make it thick if you would like. If you want it thick, maybe it's 2 fingers. I always go off of my 1 finger rule, but you can make it thick. You can make it however you'd like it to be. So right now I'm just kind of stretching it with my hands. See that? I'm doing a fanning motion with my fingers, spreading it very gently. It looks like I might be doing it hard. I really am not. I'm very, very gently using my left hand as guide and my right hand to fan it out. And voila! It's a pretty nice sized pizza right there, if I do say so myself. Next, get a regular old cooking sheet like this, flip it over, add a tiny bit of flour on it, take our pizza, put it on our peel, and it's gonna look like that. Now this is the fun part. We're gonna put all our toppings on. I went ahead and got a ladle. This is what my sauce is looking like. Grab just a little bit of it like that. Be careful not to go over the crust because then that's how it gets real messy. Take your time with it. There's no rush. That's the best thing about homemade pizza is you don't gotta get it out to a customer. You're the customer. You understand what went into it. See, look, I have so much cheese. I love cheese. This is the best ingredient to me. Now you wanna be careful with the cheese. You don't wanna go too close to the crust because that's how it can spill over. You wanna be very, very careful because it's gonna make a mess in your oven if you do that, so just like that. Beautiful. And I'll do kind of like little globs like that. This is just how I like it. Oh my gosh, I have so much. There is an option to put the basil on after. I like it cooked on there. I think that more of the flavors come out if you do it this way. Like I said, this is all preference. It's the best thing about pizza is you can literally do whatever you want. I know a lot of people would be putting pepperoni on, or like, you know, mushrooms go hard on pizza, or even anchovies. Literally anything belongs on pizza in my opinion. This is what she looks like so far. She's really cute, I'm really proud. So now I'm gonna give the pizza the breath of life and give it a little blow under there so it doesn't stick. Okay, so I saw it go up all the way around, and we're gonna pop her right into the oven. Right when you put it in, you have like a time limit. You wanna make sure that it's perfect. I usually use like a fork or something just to make sure. So now you pretty much just wait. This is kind of like the pizza going off to college. You gotta let it just do its thing. You gotta trust that you did your job right as a parent. So yeah, you just gotta make sure that you trust that it's doing its thing. You'll know it's done probably after 7-8 minutes. It varies, honestly. Because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, why didn't she do the dough? Like, I know she can do it. I can do it. But the thing is, the dough that I was using, like, I didn't wanna mess it up because I wanted the pizza to come out right. So I actually have this practice dough that my father gave me for when I was learning how to make pizza and just to like do some za tricks. It's literally just rubber. Like, look. So literally, I'm just taking my knuckles and I'm doing a slight twist. Slight twist. It takes a lot of practice. Honestly, grab a friend and then just play, like instead of playing frisbee or like passing the ball, you could pass this rubber pizza and it would be the same amount of fun, probably more fun, honestly, because like, who does this? Okay guys, so our pizza basically just graduated college and is now an adult and is ready to be eaten. It smells amazing, it looks amazing. I'm so proud of how it came out. Oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna go see if someone's home to see if they'll taste test this for me. So I'll be right back. Wait, come here, look.
Wow.
Do I add anything to it?
No, I'll just take this.
Okay. Look at that, it's nice and crispy on the bottom because we added that cookie sheet.
Yeah, it's good.
You know what I was telling them? I was telling them how like the dough when it's made is like a baby. And then when you stretch it out, it's like a kid, and then when you put it in the oven, it's going off to college, then it has to like raise itself. What do you think what is this level?
This is like the funeral, maybe.
So yeah, that's it for this episode of Cookin With G. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao! Buon appetito!
Yeah, enjoy your pizza.
Stop making such a mess!